So I'm using up some gas right now. I don't really have gas to waste, but it's cold. Trying to get someone to listen to me. It's impossible. They say that they will, and then they don't, and then they don't, and then they don't. The second time I screamed at Shannon, that's the name of a video that I posted. I just made it public again. I don't know how to delete them, but I probably should not delete them anyway. They show what it is that I deal with. With Shannon, trying to get her to listen. While I was there, I listened. If she can make the time to talk to me, she can make the time to listen to me. But she won't make the time unless it's her turn to talk. It's like this everywhere I go. Also, getting ganged up on. It's like that everywhere I go. As far as Rick being pissed off, I understand wholeheartedly why he's pissed off. But he doesn't care why I'm pissed off. He doesn't want to hear why I'm pissed off. He doesn't allow me the opportunity to defend myself. And instead of stating facts, he goes into name calling and being a dick. Well, yeah, of course I'm going to say something about this. And that's the thing, is that I'm stuck here in a vehicle I can't afford because of help that I didn't need. Shannon's, again, there was the help I was promised, and then the help that I got. The help that I got was not help. Feeding me. Alright, well, feeding me, does that make up for screaming? Does that make up for not listening? Does that make up for being abusive? I am verbally abusive, and I admit it. But it's okay for her. It's okay for him. It's not okay for me. I needed help getting the abuse to stop. That requires somebody actually listening. Now, all of these people judged me for situations that they weren't there for. All of them. From Shannon to Rick to Amanda and Lana. To Tim Beeson and Maddie Boa. Now, for me, my frustration is that nobody listens, which is why I make the videos. Nobody listens with the intent to help. Darren O'Connor could have helped. When that reporter called him and asked him about Lolatai, he could have sent them the shit that I went through as well, but he chose not to. He wants to focus on the race issue, knowing full well that it's a homeless issue. Throughout all of this, people have proven that I'm telling the truth. When people try to defend themselves, they end up proving that I'm telling the truth. Rick, in his attempts, has only shown that I'm telling the truth. What does it take for someone to actually listen to understand? So much has happened in the last 2 years, 2.5 years, that nobody would take a look at. How many times did Shannon take a look at what was going on? None. When I'd try explaining what was going on, she'd start talking over me. And then, since she's talking over me, she doesn't hear anything I'm trying to say. While I was there, I shut my mouth and I listened. Because I was in a subservient position. When I left, I shut my mouth and I listened. Because I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be kind. I was hoping that if I treated her the way that I wanted to be treated, she would understand. But she didn't. She can't, because she's an alcoholic. But it's the term mentally ill. I'm not allowed to be frustrated at the situation, yet they are. With Rick, and that one with Shannon, I was having a fucking meltdown. I wanted to blow my goddamn head off. That's all I wanted. I was tired of this shit. I'm still tired of this shit. I'm not allowed to get defensive. I'm not allowed to defend myself. But they are. I'm not allowed to speak. But they are. It's a double standard. And I deal with that everywhere. If people aren't willing to listen to what I have to say, I have to listen to them, or they abuse me and gang up on me. At no point have I been a human being to any of these people. Shannon could have sobered up and listened. She could have sobered up and gotten some work done on her house. Now, when I was at Tabby's, Tabby was good to me. Josh was not. Josh wasn't good to anybody. Tabby not listening to what I had to say, well, she did. She made time to listen. She didn't have a lot of time, and she let me know that. She has always been respectful that way. Now, when Josh didn't keep his word, not Josh, Graham didn't keep his word, instead of stating why he didn't keep his word, they got defensive, which I understand. Then again, Tabby is not an alcoholic. She's not addicted to heroin. She's not addicted to cocaine. She's not addicted to meth. Graham is not an alcoholic. He's not addicted to meth. He's not addicted to cocaine. For him, it wasn't a matter of not listening to me. It was a matter of not having time. See, whenever he tried to give me the time, the alcoholic of the house needed the attention. Kind of like at Shannon's. The alcoholic of the house needed the attention. So I gave her the attention the whole time I was there. Everything that she wanted, I tried to provide. I tried to give her. I tried to help her. But then when it comes to doing the things that Shannon wants, Shannon still wants that attention. So instead of me working on the tiles, I'm busy giving Shannon attention. Now, when she was sober, I was able to do some stuff. We put a plexiglass window in, and her daughter pushed it out. But at least I made the effort. But it was also right before I left. Now, that Gugasian fella who wanted me to make weapons for him, that money was what got me up to my dad's. My dad said he would reimburse me when I got there. A lot of people wasted a lot of time and resources on me. And that's just stupid. That's not calling them stupid. It's a stupid waste of resources, though. Shannon could have stayed sober for one night, long enough to listen to me. If she wanted her tiles done, she could have stayed sober for one night, long enough to understand that if you want me to work on something, you have to stop coming over and demanding a hug, needing that attention. I don't need attention. I need to be heard. I need to have a resolution to this. I need someone to take a look at the situation, take a look at the evidence. With my technical abilities, I have difficulties. But I make the effort. I try to learn. And I get overwhelmed with it, and I have to step away from it. But I'm not allowed to do that because it means I'm not doing anything. When people snap at me repeatedly until I'm afraid to speak, then I'm a lazy person who doesn't want to do anything, who just paces. Yeah, I'm afraid to speak. But you guys don't want to understand that. Those of you that do are living through it, and you know that nobody's going to listen to you any more than they're going to listen to me. Tabby's would have been great if Josh hadn't been there. And now that Josh is gone, well, he didn't leave until after I had already left for California. Now, Shannon could answer some questions while sober. If she feels like she's been personally attacked, she can defend herself. She's allowed to get angry and blow up at me, which I have that recorded in my phone, quite a few of them. She's allowed to be too busy, but when they want my attention, it's got to be right now. I gave that man my attention. I gave Rick my attention and my time. But he didn't want to be an adult about it. He just wanted to berate and belittle and be an asshole instead of speaking to me like an adult. And then I'm the bad guy because I'm having a panic attack and begging for them to listen to me. Not them. I don't care if Rick listens. I don't. Rick didn't say that he would. Rick didn't make promises and then not deliver. Although he did type some things that he didn't mean. Called me a coward. You're a coward, Rick. A coward. Now, I belittle people. I do. I shame people. I really do. When you go out of your way not to understand, and you're not willing to admit that you have a problem, then I have a problem. I admit my problems. I admit my faults. And people say, you don't admit to nothing. You blame everything on everyone else. No, I blame what they do in specific on them. I also admit where I was wrong. And if you go back without tunnel vision, you'll realize that. I admitted to all the things that I did wrong. I also admitted to all the things that I took wrong. And I admitted to the things that I misunderstood. At the same time, I already knew the dynamics that I was dealing with. How difficult it was going to be to get somebody to listen without an autism advocate, without someone who was trained to understand it. When I went in on the 29th of December of 2017, because Natalie was missing, I was trying to help find Natalie. When it turned out that she was dead, I was trying to help find her killer. When I got that pocket dial, the first thing I did was try to find a safe place for Miss Shelley. I called Rayanna here in Cheyenne. Now, all this stuff I have in what's called screenshots. That's the problem. I can't show screenshots on YouTube because I don't have the technical ability. Now, I've got a computer over here. I was trying to get a hold of Rayanna to try to get my charger because I had left it at her place. Now, the help that she said that she would provide and the help she was able to provide were not the same. Matter of fact, going over to her house resulted in screaming. Now, I didn't hear the screaming. I just heard the door slamming and the fucking smacking stuff against the counter and the grunting and groaning by her husband. And then the day that she told me that he never hits her, never yells at her, doesn't do anything like that, well, the very next day I got to hear him yelling at her upstairs over me being there when she said it was all right. She said, he's not mad at you, he's mad at me. But then he wasn't taking it out on her, he was taking it out on me. He was walking past me trying to shoulder check me. When I'd talk to him, he'd turn around and walk away. At least he turned around and walked away. But he wasn't civil, not even close. I'm not allowed to speak out about this. I'm not allowed to defend myself. Between me being able to defend myself against the person making the accusations and them sending someone else to attack me instead, well, I got to deal with other people attacking me instead. I wouldn't post any of this stuff publicly if I didn't have to. Now, sure, I could lay down and just take it, but that's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is expose the situation. Now, Shannon, if she actually took the time to listen to me instead of talk over me just once, things would be different. With my dad, when we had a grand total of 3 conversations, sort of. One of those conversations was when I had first gotten there, and I was trying to tell him what all was going on, and he kept on interrupting me. So I kept on telling him that interrupting me sends me into a panic attack. Please stop interrupting me. This is why. So instead of getting to explain what was going on with the whole situation with Natalie, or sitting down and showing him evidence, which he said he would look at, by the way, and then wouldn't, well, I ended up explaining autism to him. So then he looks at a couple of videos, finds out about the freeze loop, and then instead of listening to me, he's throwing the freeze loop in my face. Well, okay. He's also screaming at me at this point. We also went for a walk, and my dad told me about how he had been busted not just for cocaine, but also for buying an M16 for an undercover officer. I didn't know that part. On that walk, I listened to my dad almost the whole time. That's how I know the things to say about my dad. These are things that he told me. He told me that he never messed around with cocaine, which is a different story than my mother told, and it's a different story than his prison record tells. But this is his story. You know? All of these people refused to listen. It was always their turn to talk. When my dad finally blew up at me, I was sick of it. I mean, I'd spent days quiet, and Dad thought everything was fine because I was quiet. No, I was too afraid to speak because I didn't want to get yelled at again. At Shannon's, I was too afraid to speak because I didn't want to get yelled at like Rick was getting yelled at. It's not okay to be a good person. It's not. When you say that you'll listen to me and I invest in the time and energy to go see you because you said you were going to listen, and then you think that food is better than listening. No, I don't need food. I don't even want food if I can't get someone to listen. I don't have a reason to live if I can't get someone to listen and look at the evidence. Now, Shannon could have taken the time to look at it. There's plenty of proof of that. She had plenty of time to play on Facebook and to show me pictures of dead people and, you know, show me all these other cases that she's interested in. Because, see, much like most of these folks who got involved, they're into death. That's how they found out about me. Natalie died. And then they want to help me, but they don't want to listen. Well, I come to realize that most people who are infatuated with death, they don't care what anybody has to say, except for them. And that's why I speak out. Now, instead of proving me wrong and taking the time to listen, these people go out of their way not to. They go out of their way to prove me right. Well, okay. Instead of Shannon taking the time to listen to what I had to say for once, because I listened to her the whole time that I was there at her house, instead of her taking the time to listen to me just once, I got Rick attacking my character. That's fine. I told the truth about his, and I told the truth about hers. He says it's not... What was it that he typed? It was, I get angry when people don't talk to me the way that I want them to. No, I get angry that they don't listen. That what they have to say is more important than what I have to say. That me, who is there for the situation, what I have to say doesn't matter, while people who were not there slander my name and assume the worst in me and treat me like shit as a result of it. Who wouldn't be suicidal after this? I went back to all of my predators because they offered to help. Where my friends in Colorado didn't. Where Aunt B didn't. I needed a safe place. A place where I am not hunted by homeless people. Now, even without the things that happened to Natalie, homeless people are hunted by the police. They're too easy to victimize. People don't want to see the homeless. So not only do they not speak out against it, they support it.